Hey guys, I'm Dr. Bree and welcome to FemFusion Fitness, your home for core and pelvic floor friendly fitness and yoga. And I have to apologize, I don't have a fitness video for you today. I really wanted to, but I have a piece of equipment for filming that's broken and I'm waiting for it to be mailed to me, and I'm like tapping my fingers and waiting, and it's driving me nuts. But I don't need my regular filming setup for this. I just need my little computer webcam to show you something that I think may be an example you won't forget anytime soon. Now, this is an example of why it's so important to strengthen and focus on safely exercising your inner core. Now, it illustrates how your inner core is an actual container. Your core includes more than just your abs. It includes more than just your pelvic floor. It's really a container of deep muscles that work together. They need to be strong and toned to help support you throughout daily life, but they also need to know how to turn on a little bit extra during certain exercises and certain movements during your day-to-day lifestyle. So let's get right into this illustration of why these muscles are so important and how they act together as a container. So we're going to use a toothpaste tube. We can think of our pelvic floor as the base of the toothpaste tube. That was probably pretty obvious. And then we can think of our abdominals as the front and our deep back muscles as the back. Now, see how these muscles go all the way around, just like the container, the tube goes all the way around, and of course is bound on the bottom and bound on the top. The top is the breathing diaphragm. So we can think of this all together as the inner core container. Now, by the way, I can't take credit for this example. I learned it long ago when I first started training in my women's health, physical therapy, continuing education courses to help give me the credentials to do what I do today. So I didn't come up with this, but I love it. All right, now, what I want you to consider, I'm going to take the bottom off of this toothpaste tube because, of course, we have holes in the bottom of our pelvic floor. It's not just a muscle that is a sheet of muscle that doesn't have any openings. It does. For females, it has an opening for the vagina, the urethra, and the anus. All right, so now we have the bottom of this toothpaste tube, and this actually has a seal. So I'm going to take the seal off. Brand new tube of toothpaste right here. Okay, seal is off. Now, unfortunately, this toothpaste, I just realized it's a gel toothpaste. So hopefully you can see it in this webcam here. But what I want you to see, now think about anything that increases your intra-abdominal, intrapelvic pressure. So imagine like when you lift something up overhead. So imagine you have 30-pound weight that you're lifting up overhead. Think of how that makes kind of a feeling happen. Your diaphragm is shifting position as such, your muscles are moving as such that everything kind of presses downward on your pelvic floor. Now, if you don't know how to extra engage, extra activate those pelvic floor muscles and those core muscles, then this could happen. Oh, that was disgusting. I'm so sorry. So this is I'm sorry if you think this is in poor taste, but it's an example of prolapse. Or bladder leakage at the very, from one end of the spectrum, bladder leakage. You can also have prolapse. You can have any type of issue like that when you are not able to resist against that downward pressure that happens. It just happens when you do things, again, like lifting something up over your head. It also happens in various situations, like even just moving from sit to stand. There can be an increase in intra-abdominal pressure. Maybe coughing, a huge bout of coughing. This is particularly important if you're someone who has allergies, or if you're a smoker, please stop smoking. Or if you have any type of chronic, bronchial condition or airway condition, then you can have a lot of coughing. So every time you cough, every time you laugh uncontrollably, laughing is wonderful, but it does cause some downward pressure on your pelvic floor, of course, and your pelvic organs. And so if you don't know how to resist against using your pelvic floor muscles during those times when you need a little extra support, then that can happen. Okay, now here's the deal though. So that's the bottom. Now, we also know that this is a whole container. The inner unit is an entire container. So let's go ahead and say that the pelvic floor is actually incredibly connected to your deep abdominals, your transversus abdominis. These are so connected, and I'm going to be talking more about this in the future. If you haven't already seen it, I recommend watching my interview with Dr. Sinead Dufour. It's going to be linked. I'll link it in the video notes, and I'll try to put it in the information button. But it's a great interview that really talks about diastasis recti, typically what we think of as the split between the rectus abdominis muscles. Now, really what it is actually a weakness in the connective tissues. There's all sorts of stuff going on in the anterior abdominal wall. Lots of connective tissues. The linea alba in the middle, and then we even have the other tissues that connect the layers of the abdominal muscles to the linea alba. All of that, if it's weak, if it is underactive, if it doesn't know how to turn on correctly, not the connective tissues, but if the muscles don't know how to turn on correctly, and if the connective tissues are weak, then let's see what can happen in this case. So let's just say that our pelvic floor let's say our pelvic floor is just fine, but even so, let's say our muscles in our abdominal wall are weak. I have a little, toothpaste stuck to me. Okay, I'm poking a hole in the front of this container, poking a hole right around the belly button. Okay, so I'm not sure if you'll be able to see this, but what happens if you, again, increase that intra-abdominal pressure? You're lifting something overhead, or, oh my gosh, let's see if you can see this. Can you see this? Oh no, what just happened there? A hernia happened, okay? Now, let's say our pelvic floor is not strong either. We have a hernia and we have prolapse. Oh my heavens. All right, now there's more. This is a container. So what about our back? Let's say our back muscles are weak. Our muscles are not working together as a group effectively. Our core is not working effectively. We haven't realized that there's more to the core than just the abs. You haven't really worked your back because you think, well, I'm doing sit-ups and that's all I really need, right? Okay, well, that's not true, because here's what happens to our back. Potentially, we're lifting something, and let's see if we can see it now. I don't know if you can see this from behind. You see that? Oh no, we have a slipped disc. We have a herniated disc. We have a abdominal hernia. Oh goodness, my fingers just got completely covered in toothpaste. Luckily, I have a piece of paper underneath. We have an abdominal hernia, we have a herniated disc, and we have prolapse. This is all happening at the same time. This is so messy. Okay, let's do some sit-ups. Let's do some sit-ups where, I'm gonna clean this off slightly. Let's do some sit-ups where we are just doing crunches and we're not thinking about properly engaging our pelvic floor, and we're not thinking about properly engaging our abs. What's gonna happen? Well, first of all, there's prolapse. Can you see that coming down my finger? And second of all, I don't know if you can see it, but we have toothpaste coming out the top as well, and out the bottom. So I hope that this has been a good illustration again. It's all over my fingers. I hope this has been an illustration that's gonna really help remind you of the importance of maintaining, of really thinking about, first of all, thinking about why it's important to think about these deep core muscles, and why we need to not just think about the abs and doing sit-ups to strengthen our core. There's so much more to it. You need to know how to keep these muscles strong and supple. Of course, they need to be able to know how to relax as well as contract. These postural muscles is really what they are, is postural stabilizing muscles. So they're always on at a low level, but we need to know how to turn them extra on when we really need them. I gave you a few examples already during isolated core strengthening workouts, during lifting activities, certain transitions, when you're picking things up, moving things around. Certain situations, you do need to turn them extra on, or you could have a mess like I just showed you. So I hope that was really clear. This may be an image that you'll never forget, kind of like it was for me. Somehow I have to figure out how to turn my recorder off right now because my fingers are completely covered in toothpaste. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. But before I do so, I just want to remind you that if you want to really focus on total core strengthening that works more than just the abs, I really try to focus on well-rounded core strengthening programs, working all the little muscles you maybe never even knew you had. I try to wake up those deep core muscles. Then I encourage you to check out my videos here on YouTube. I also have a brand new program called Booty Glute Camp. I will go ahead and link that in the notes below as well. It's a great way to really work all of the lower core muscles super effectively. And definitely subscribe to my channel to be notified when future videos come up. I do have fitness videos, a ton of awesome fitness and yoga videos in the works for you, but I just need that piece of equipment to come in the mail. So until next time, I hope you will remember to eat clean, move every day, strengthen your deep core muscles, and you will shine brighter. Thanks for watching. Bye.